Hey y'all, it's Megan. Welcome back to the channel. Glad y'all are here today. Come spend a little time with us. It's liable to be a busy day, y'all. First things first, I've come out here to Berry Hill pretty early this morning because it is super humid already and it feels like it's probably gonna be a hot day. We're thinking we may have some sweet corn ready. We've been eating some fresh for supper the last couple of nights, so when I get done picking here, we're gonna go up here and check our sweet corn in the garden at the house, and today may be dedicated to putting up corn. That is a process because I do need to can some. I didn't can any last year because the year before I had canned enough to last me about 2 years, and I've been out for about a month now. So we may be freezing some corn on the cob and canning some. Just depends on how much we find out there. I do want to show you, these blackberries have suffered. The ones that are out in the sun, look at this. They just dried up to nothing. The best ones are kind of hidden back in these canes here. We've only had a 1/10 of an inch of rain since May 26th. Y'all saw that back when we were moving the bull and it started raining. We got about a 1/10 of an inch, which we were very, very thankful for. Every single drop we can get. But my blackberries need to be picked again. I ain't decided yet what I'm gonna do with them. I've already made quite a bit of jelly. So I froze some last year. They froze pretty good. It seemed like the seed was more pronounced. Y'all heard me talk about the seeds in these. It seemed like the seed was more pronounced in the frozen blackberries. I don't know why. But I gotta get these picked. And I also want to show you real quick while I'm down here. I've got some blueberries to pick. Luckily, we haven't had much problem with the birds. I don't know if the pigs have something to do with it because, you know, all this is right here beside the pigs. So I don't know if that has something to do with it, but some of our blueberry plants have really, really suffered. And Andy's been keeping it watered out here, but I'm going to show you. Look here. See how loaded that is? And you see the beautiful blueberries on it? Look at them. A lot of them have dried up like that, and they're not good. I tried some a couple days ago, and they're nothing. I mean, well, you can see there's nothing to them. There ain't no juice in them. So I'm guessing that's probably from dry weather. I got another one down here that looks like that. And this one was full, but they never much made anything. Well water can only do so much. God's water, I mean, the rainwater just has a different effect on plants. Well water just pretty much keeps stuff alive. But that's enough talking. Let's get to picking. Got about half my bucket full, so that ain't too bad. It still looks like there's a lot here, but a lot of them just ain't much count, so just let them be. I'm gonna pick some blueberries. If you've never picked blueberries, if you ever do, you'll realize why they're so expensive. It is a tedious little job picking these little blueberries. Which, even considering the ones that dried up, we've done pretty good.
Probably got more than we've got in the past.
Yeah. See that right there? That's why their water's never clean.
I just cleaned it out.
I know you did. He said it's hot, that water's cold. Well, I got a few blueberries, enough to eat on. It ain't too bad.
Not too bad.
Not considering as bad as the bushes look.
I know.
So I had to taste test them because some of them looked like they were going to be good and they didn't have any juice in them. They were just completely dry. So Anyways, are we gonna go check the sweet corn now?
Yep, I'm sure we got some up there.
All right, we're gonna see what we can find out here in this sweet corn. Now, how do you know it's ready?
So, you see those tassels right there? When they're completely dead like that, usually means they're ready. But typically, they pull out a lot easier than that. However, I've noticed this go around, they hadn't been pulling out easy, and I'm not sure why, but they ain't. That ear right there should be ready. Feels good and plump. You want to make sure, like, you can tell they're ready by more than just the tassels. The tassels is the dead giveaway that they're. Oh, look, that one just pulled right out. So the tassels is the dead giveaway, but you can feel that ear. Feels good and plump. You know it's ready to go.
Now, I'm gonna be interested to see what these look like, because in the past, the ones with these long, like that, they're usually not the best ears. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but that's just something I've noticed through the years.
I don't know. We'll see. All right, here you go, Jacob. Put that in the wagon. They've been having them a snack bar over here. So this one row that I planted right close to the fence, I mean, it's got ears on it, and they feel like they're filled out, so they've probably pollinated off of the other corn. But yeah, they've been having them a little buffet right across here. I kind of figured they would do that.
Yeah. Goats ain't tall enough to reach it.
Nope. All right, Jacob. That one's ready. I'm going to say that all these right here are ready. They feel like they are.
What about up here on the front? Here, I'll just be the runner.
Pull it and see. No, don't pull that in yet.
Okay.
See how you still see some
white
yellow
in it.
tassels there?
Yeah. Oh, you got your shoes? Let's see. No. Looks like it.
That right there's a little ear of corn.
Come here, Maggie Moo.
Maggie, here.
Show her what to pick. I'll be the runner.
Come here, Maggie. See how that one right there, the tassels are all dead and gone?
Yeah.
Break it up. Break it on. There you go. You got it.
There you go, little man.
Hey, I'm going to shuck one of these right here just to see, because the ear sure is awful little looking.
A picture. A picture. Me and Maddie got a picture.
Is there one on it?
Look at here.
There you go.
How's that for you? Is
That'll
that
be
too young?
It's about too young, but
I got it.
it'll be all
They
right.
look right. There's a kitten running around out here.
It is.
Whitey.
Yeah.
It's Whitey.
No, it's the black one.
Whitey's right here.
Megan, we may not have quite as much ready just yet that I
Look.
thought we was going to.
Whitey.
Well, we can freeze what we got today.
I mean, it's definitely a bunch in here. I still got more to pick, but it ain't going to be all of it for sure.
There's the black one.
I didn't-
see Whitey.
I think this top row up here is the most developed of all of it.
I'm gonna try it.
I planted them castor bean plants up there yesterday,
Did you?
but they sure did wilt pretty good. Hopefully they live.
We got 2 garden cats.
There, we got little kittens out here running around everywhere. 2 kittens, I say.
One, we got Whitey and Whitey's right there, and the black one's up there.
Oh, I didn't even see that one.
That's Whitey. That's Maggie's.
It's chasing bees. Then there's a black one out here running some which way. I don't know why these 2 kittens have took up in the garden, but that's all right with me. It's probably some of the fastest growing sweet corn we've ever had.
Oh, y'all are over there. I'm on the wrong side.
But I'll tell you, when it's, I guess where it's been dry, when it finally started coming in, I feel like, what is it?
I wanted your corn. I was going to take it.
Oh, I feel like it's took forever for the corn to get right.
Mama.
Maybe it's just because I've been waiting on it.
About like watching water boil.
That's about right. The good thing about this Honey Select is it gives you time to pick it. So even if like, you know, it ain't one of those corns that you've got to, like, oh my goodness, my corn's coming in, I got to hurry up and pick it. You got a little bit of time here. All right. I think we're going to call it right there for now.
Look how full it is. We might need my wagon.
Last year, I believe, wasn't last year, year before last when we had the sweet corn out here. I remember coming out of here and that thing being plumb full, which we still got a lot left. We didn't even make a dent in it, y'all.
Yeah, I think we're done for now.
Even though, you know, we got our second crop planted down here, I'm not sure we're going to need it.
I know, but what I like about it
Is having the fresh
I just
corn
wanted
later
to
in
eat
the year.
'em.
I know. I have strictly been keeping this watered, especially since it started tasseling. When it started shooting tassel and we weren't getting rain, we've been watering this religiously.
Well, that's when corn needs the water.
Yeah, that's the most important part. I mean, the most important time corn needs water is when it's shooting a tassel.
Are you hunting a cucumber? I'm sure there's one in there.
It's the cucumber jungle. That's about too big. You gonna eat it?
Mm-hmm.
Maggie's so proud of her flower garden here. But I'm gonna tell y'all what. It has been an absolute struggle to keep water on that garden.
Yeah.
That thing has flat out drunk some water. And while we're not getting any rain right now, it's every single day. We water it every evening. And by the next evening, it's wilted again. It's been tough to keep a lot of this stuff watered. So this is another benefit to having this here pasture right beside the garden. We just pull right out here, start shucking corn, and throw it into the cows.
I just saw that cow Callie. Daddy, I just saw that cow Callie.
Did you?
Yeah. I meant to say Callie.
So we do have a worm here and there. That's a little bitty worm. But as I said, in case you didn't see it in the other video, this corn hasn't been sprayed with any type of insecticide at all. Typically, my early crop of corn, I
Mommy,
don't
you waiting for me?
I don't typically spray my early crop of corn with any type of insecticides, just simply because worm pressure is not a big deal on the early sweet corn. However, on the late sweet corn, there goes a worm, a big worm just fell out. On the late sweet corn,
A cow parrot fell out of mine last night.
did it? But on the late sweet corn, worm pressure is a lot worse. So I will go through with just one application of spinosad as soon as the tassels and everything start shooting.
Well, that's some pretty corn.
Yeah, that is a pretty ear there. That one there was just about too young. But it'll still be just fine. But it is a little bit on the young side. And a lot of people, I do want to say that this is a preference between different people.
Oh, yeah.
I've met some people who like their corn to get old before they get it because they say they want something there to bite into. I've met people who like it young. However,
You like it when it ain't nothing there to bite.
I do tend to like it when it's a little bit on the young side. So back when we used to go grow Silver Queen, which when I was a kid, this was long before Megan's time, my grandpa, that's all he would grow was Silver Queen. And he would eat it when it wasn't nothing but a cob. He'd eat that stuff young, and I guess that's where I got it from. But I will say that this Honey Select is...
This one about wasn't old enough.
I see that. This Honey Select, it's a little bit better as it gets older in age, I think. It's got a lot more flavor to it.
Mm-hmm.
But that Serendipity was a lot like this Honey Select too.
Yeah.
And it's a bicolor, so it's a lot prettier.
It was a dark cloud.
You dreamed about a dark cloud? Did rain
Dark cloud.
Did rain come out of it?
Right there's one that I would consider just about perfect.
1,000 million.
In my opinion, that right there
You'll never believe
is a perfect ear corn.
Little bitty worm. Don't worry about the
I ain't found one yet that had a worm in it.
You ain't? I've had a few. Not many though. But the older it gets, the more there'll be in there.
Oh, yeah.
For whatever reason we found, when you see that, you think, okay, I'll break it off right there. and this part right here is good. But the thing is, when you go to cook it and eat it, it's like it's almost like it's dry or something, ain't it? Like it ain't nothing there. So.
Right here's another. So that was out of one look like this, right?
Yeah.
All right, here's another one.
Well, we're just going to turn that ear of corn into beef.
There you go.
Corn fell on the ground.
Yeah, look, this one's like that too.
There's you an example of one that's too young. And like she just said, it is edible.
You can bite it like this. I'm gonna bite it.
Have at it.
I'm gonna try it.
Oh man, that's good like that, boy.
We'll eat it then.
Here, try it. No, not one out there. This one. Yeah, boy, it's sweet. Ain't that good? That's good, ain't it?
But it's hairy.
It's hairy.
We'll get the hair off of it.
I'm sucking this one.
Oh.
Well, yep, you ain't even gotta cook it.
Now I got corn stuck in my
You should
teeth.
try it. It's good.
Now I got
Alright.
corn stuck in my
Hold it,
teeth.
but don't suck it, because I'm going to get the cow better than the chicken.
Okay. That right there is about better than when it is cooked.
Yeah.
Think so?
It was good, wasn't it, Jacob?
Let me see.
Well, I'm about to eat it now. Try it right there.
That is pretty good.
I'm gonna throw this. I guess I'm gonna throw this whole thing in there. Because it has
They
a
say that Hickory King's good. You eat it like that.
You tried it, didn't you?
I never could catch it last year.
Oh, here's our caterpillar.
Y'all see what I'm good for?
Well, I gotta say, this right here is one crop we grow that we all like, ain't it?
Yep, we all love it.
It's fresh sweet corn. All right.
I'll freeze all this on the cob.
That's not a bad looking haul right there.
Mama.
We didn't even make a dent in it today.
Nope. Nope, it looks good though. I think I was adding it up. I don't know, 20 bags maybe.
20 bags. How many ears you say we put in each bag? 6?
6.
Yep, and that usually works out to have 2 apiece for somebody. And then everybody else gets 1 apiece. Which most time it actually works out.
Well,
decent
Jacob
than
don't like it froze, so he don't really eat it when it's
True.
froze.
I have my lunch.
Oh, was
Not
that your
bad
lunch?
looking there. Not bad looking at all. All right. Let's get it in there and fix it.
Do it to it. So all this corn we're just gonna freeze on the cob. I didn't know if I'd have enough to can today or not, but I'm gonna get all I want on the cob and then
Then we can.
we'll can it from whatever we got left. Because we enjoy it on the cob best. I know a lot of people say you can freeze it in the shuck. This is just the way that we do it here. I take some saran wrap, plastic wrap, whatever you want to call it, cling wrap. I don't know what the name of it is.
Cling wrap, I think. I believe that's the technical name.
I just roll my corn up a few times. And we stick it in a freezer bag. And 1 gallon size freezer bag usually holds about 6 ears of corn. Now, I don't blanch it. I don't wash it. I don't want my corn getting wet. So I do it like this, and then you can wash it before you cook it.
We've always been afraid to try it, to leave it
A
in the
different
shuck.
way. Yeah.
And you know the other thing,
Because it keeps so good this way.
what do you do if there's a worm in it?
What do you mean?
If there's a worm in the shuck and you freeze it that way? I mean, I guess you just freeze the worm in
Yeah,
there
I guess
with
you
it?
freeze the worm, yeah. You just get...
I think it's nice just to really be able to see your corn before you put it up. Because that's the funnest part about picking corn,
Well, that's true, too.
is getting to see it. Because every ear you unwrap is like unwrapping a Christmas present.
And also, with this way, too, it, stacks up in my freezer real good.
Fits nice.
Yeah. But the corn keeps really, really well this way. We've eaten year-old corn multiple times. I mean, of course, it's not as good as fresh corn, but it really is still pretty crunchy.
It is.
It
But
keeps...
By the time you get to the fresh corn picking time, you're like, when you bite into that first ear of fresh corn, you're like, oh yeah. You know, I've noticed that when you pick your first ears off of your corn, it always seems like that's the best ears.
Yeah.
You know,
For
and
some
as
reason.
time goes on, the ones that ain't quite ready yet, you know, they'll still be good ears, but maybe they didn't fill out quite to the end, or they just didn't get as big or something. There's always just a little bit of issue once you get on into the season with your ears that ain't, because for whatever reason, corn just never seems to all come in at one time, at least for us anyways. So that's the other reason why the first ones we pick we freeze them on the cob.
Yeah, like your ugly ones that you get later on, that's your canning corn. But these nice, pretty, filled out ears.
And older corn makes better canning corn too, because you got more to cut off.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if you miss some out there on the first picking, when you go back and just strip it all and pick it all, chances are you're going to have a couple of ears that's probably got too old.
You got 6.
I need one more.
You got 6.
Oh, I do got 6. I can't count.
Got to keep you straight.
I always try to squeeze as much of the air out of this as I can, but
This is a silking brush, and so
these things has gotten kind of hard to find.
it's a pretty soft bristle, so you don't bust your corn. And I'm doing this into a bucket, not my floor. But, especially, don't Silver Queen or one of them, they got a bunch of silks, don't they?
Yeah, I believe Silver Queen had silks. I can't remember. It seems like one. I can remember the very first time we planted Honey Select. And when we went to shuck it, we were like, oh my goodness, the silks come off so easy. Gosh, Lee, that's been a long time ago. It's funny how people in this area, though, like, we don't want to try anything else. Like, it took us forever, and we finally tried. Like, last year, year before last was the year we tried all them different varieties.
Year before last.
Year
Because
before
we tried
last?
that candy corn and that peaches and cream. And
But it's always like you find that one variety you like, and you stick with it. I wonder what it would do if you done it just like that, but put it in a vacuum seal bag.
I don't know, I've wondered about that.
But you keep pretty good like that.
I was going to say, if you vacuum sealed it, you probably wouldn't have to wrap it in this. You just straight vacuum seal it.
Probably wouldn't.
But I don't know why it wouldn't work. I vacuum sealed that corn that I cut off the cob last year. And it kept good.
What else we got to do today after this?
I just got to figure out what to do with my blackberries.
Well, I got to call Daddy and see when he wants to do something with that feed. He may want to wait till tomorrow.
I might need to go out there and pick them green beans.
Which ones? Out there?
Kentucky Wonders. I don't know. I'm going to go check out the situation. I sure would hate for them delicious things to go to waste. Which the good thing about them is they can get a little older. The bean just gets bigger before they get too shelly.
Sleepy this morning.
Another thing I like about doing it this way too, where they're kind of individualized, which I know they're like that in the shuck too. Like sometimes like Maggie will want some corn on the cob for lunch or something. And I can just like get her one out.
I forgot to write a number on here.
Hear me?
Yeah. You just get her one out of the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we put them in a vacuum pack bag, you couldn't do that.
How many bags I got? 5? 6? And I bet we'll get 7 or 8. That'll be all right. That's about half of
what you need, ain't it?
Yep.
Well, what if you... Of course, we can't count on that serendipity making what we need because it's down there, and I mean, coons and everything else could possibly get it. But I was going to say, what if you put up maybe close to what you want, and then wait, and then that would stay fresher longer in the freezer, where it would be like a month or 2 behind.
Well, let's do that. And then I'm also going to can corn too, so if we happen to run out of corn on the cob. Well, what I'll do now is I'll just stack this real neat, about like he's got it stacked right there in my stand-up freezer there.
And this is probably one of the only vegetables you actually freeze, isn't it? Was that and the carrots?
Yeah.
Or did you can the carrots?
No, I froze the carrots.
Because we lack freezer space.
Yeah. The freezer space is usually saved for the meat and the corn on the cob.
Yep.
And other than that, everything else gets canned.
And we have 2 freezers and still lack freezer space.
I guess you count it as 2.5, counting the
Oh,
one on
yeah.
the refrigerator.
Yeah, that's true too. That one too.
Yeah.
And we have one on the refrigerator out there in the building. Mm-hmm. And we still don't have enough freezer space between all the meat we've got in it. The chickens take up a lot of room.
Yeah, the whole chickens. They do. And it don't help
Quit.
that you usually try to keep them in their own little freezer.
Yeah.
So I try to keep my freezer decently organized with these Dollar Tree baskets. It works perfect. But I've been saving this space right here. This is where I'll stack my corn at. Now, if I had much more corn than what we've got today, I wouldn't be putting it in here all at one time. Part of it would go in the refrigerator overnight, and part of it would come in here. You'll kill a freezer quick doing that.
Yep.
So while we were out here picking corn this morning, I was kind of glancing over some of my other stuff out here and realized I've got enough green beans to put some in the canner. So these right here are Jade bush beans. We've grown these for years and years. They're a stringless type bean, but some of them are still a little young, but let me get out here and show you. They fool you because you can't see the beans unless you really get to looking. And when you really get to looking, you're like, oh man, I better get to work. And that's kind of how I felt just a little bit ago. I mean, because they kind of hide under there. Bush beans are wonderful because you don't have to worry about something for them to run out. Jade beans stay pretty well tender for a long time before they start getting real shelly. I like them because of that too, and they're stringless. But boy, they ain't the funnest bean to pick. I will tell you that, especially if you got a lot of them. This won't be too bad, but look under there. See all them beans hanging under there? So it looks like I'm gonna be canning some green beans today. Now I want to show y'all something real quick on these Jade bush beans. You gotta flip them every which way. Your plants is gonna look a little rough when you get done picking them. But you can't just pick what you can see right here. I done picked the beans I could see here. See, I'm looking around. See a bunch of blooms, a bunch of little beans. There's one decent. But, look here. We're gonna take this thing and we're gonna flip him upside down. See why? Didn't even know those was under there. The next stop is Jacob's garden. So yes, he did beat me on the green beans. He's been getting fresh green beans. He was starting to get his about, I don't know, a week before ours started coming in. So he did beat me. He was pretty tickled about that. But I got his permission to pick his green beans to go along with what I've got. He also has Jade beans. But now he don't care for them cooked. The reason he wanted to pick them is he comes out here and he eats them when they're like that right there. And they are really good that way if you've never tried it. So let me see if I got any in here I can add to the collection. Next stop, Kentucky Wonders. There's a pile of them out there too. They are doing it to it. We got these blackberry bushes stuck everywhere, or vines, whatever you call them. It's great though, because it's hot and miserable. It's amazing what a fresh blackberry will do for you. So these are Kentucky Wonder pole beans. We started planting these a few years back. Really, really, really like them. They have, let's see if I can find a really good mature one here. They have a bigger bean in them. So it's kind of like, even though you're eating green beans a lot, because usually that's one vegetable that I have a lot of, the Jade beans versus these, it's like you're eating two totally different things. And one thing I really love about these Kentucky Wonders, y'all ever eat them green beans like at church homecoming or something, and they just cooked, I mean cooked plumb down. They got big old beans in them, and all you can taste is that salt meat in them. Yeah. Kentucky Wonders. That's where I found it at. Love them. But so these right here on this arch, right here, these were store-bought seeds. They're an heirloom green bean, so I saved some seeds last year. These and these are the seeds that I saved. And I'm not sure how well the camera's picking it up, but there's a big difference, which I think is super cool. So I'm thinking, since I saved the best seeds off these, because the Kentucky Wonders had a hard time last year. We had bad bug pressure, and they had a really hard time. So the seeds that I saved were actually from the plants that lived, which weren't very many. And I don't know if that made them tougher and a better plant. I don't know. But these plants are like rocking and rolling. So let's get them picked. Got almost a half a 5-gallon bucket full. And probably if I went back through them, I could probably find some more, like right there. They kind of match the plants, so you kind of have to look for them. But now, a lot of people all ask us a lot, do y'all ever rest? Let me tell y'all, I'm fixing to go in the house and rest here in just a second while I'm sitting there stringing them beans. I'm gonna go in there and get me a glass of water and cool off and sit there and string my beans. I don't think there's no better family time, in my opinion anyway, than you and your family sitting around the supper table, sitting there stringing beans together or shucking corn like you saw us doing this morning. You talking about quality family time. That's where it's at. It ain't sitting in front of the TV, as ironic as that is, that I make YouTube videos, but the quality time really comes away from all that stuff. You have your best conversations sitting around stringing beans. Well, we've took a quick break from the green beans and we've come up here and decided we're gonna go ahead and pull these carrots that we planted out here where our potatoes were. Our potatoes were here, and there's a row of carrots hiding in that buckwheat right there. Right through there. So we're gonna see what redland carrots look like. It'll always get interesting.
We've been waiting on rain to pull them.
Yeah.
So it would soften the ground up.
Because the ground right now is so hard that we're gonna have to
Yeah,
dig
we're gonna
them.
have to
We're gonna
use
have to
this
dig
to
them
pull 'em
out.
out.
Yeah.
But it's time to go ahead and get them out. We noticed a few of them had shot up blooms. So it's time to get them out. So if they made something, they made something. If they didn't, they didn't.
That's right.
We just kind of want to see. We've already got plenty of carrots from our other ones. So if they didn't make anything, it's totally fine. But like I said, we have been waiting on rain to get them up, and it's not going to rain apparently. So we decided to go ahead and dig them. We were kind of hoping we was going to squeeze out a thunderstorm this evening, but it's cleared off and don't look like that's going to happen. So in case y'all hadn't seen back in previous videos, you see this that's growed up around the carrots is buckwheat. It come up on its own just naturally from the cover crops I've had in this field, and so we decided to leave it right around the carrots, being that they were planted late, and buckwheat is a a warm season cover crop, and carrots are a cool season crop. We decided we'd let it kind of grow up around them and sort of shade the carrots out, and hoping that they would still make something. Like I said, they were planted quite a bit later than we should have been planting carrots.
But this ground is hard as a rock, so
Golly.
we're gonna see.
You should be able to grab that now and pull it out. I don't think these here on the end is going to be anything. They're too little.
Mom, watch.
Here.
Well, there we go. Those have got some length to them.
I'll get this one.
Here, dump yours in that one. I'll put the bad one in that one. I'll just
Look right there. It's fertilizer I throwed on these probably 2 months ago. And it's still laying on top of the ground.
Can keep one of the big ones.
I think they all would have looked like that right there had we had water on.
They will. Look at big carrots, guys.
Yeah, that
Look at
one's
there.
not terrible.
Sweaty. I'm sweaty, Mama.
They are.
I'm sweaty.
I mean, these are about like the ones we dug up out of the
That
yard.
one's purple. There wasn't supposed to be no purple seed in these.
Here you go, Mother. Here's your one with red with 3 legs.
I see.
2 legs.
Now there's some decent ones.
Here, there. You can go back here in the bucket. Oh, you want one with 2 legs? And it will be short. You want this one? Oh, you actually have one with legs.
Yep.
Look, guys, we actually have a different carrot.
Has that one got Jacob's name all over it?
No.
You gonna eat
All
that
this
one?
digging.
Look, y'all see it?
We found one pretty.
And a perfect one. And of course, it has green on it.
There's a tater.
Potato that we missed?
No, it was over here in the carrots. That's amazing though. The fertilizer still laying on the ground. And they've been, I fertilized them a long time ago. At least 2 months ago when I
Here,
fertilized
little
them.
Me.
Oh
hot.
no! I broke his legs.
Getting real hot.
I broke his legs. I broke the running guy's legs.
This is better than having a ton of rows and getting potatoes up.
Is it?
Yeah, at least we didn't plant 5 rows of carrots.
Well, they weren't as bad as we thought they was going to be, was it?
No.
But the rest of this row right down through here is actually onions. But they never grew. They never did anything. We have figured out apparently this land up here is not onion growing land because they have plenty of fertilizer and everything else that they needed. The only thing I guess they were lacking was water.
Yeah.
We're not even gonna bother digging those because the one, I've dug a few and they all look like that right there. They're rotten and just, yeah.
Didn't even make nothing.
Yeah,
That
nasty.
it's like the same set.
It really does. It don't look no bigger than it did when we planted it. So, I guess we're done up here.
Well, we got 2 5-gallon buckets of greens for the cows and the little tiny carrots, and then filled up this little bucket with good carrots.
Yeah, there was a lot more good carrots than I was expecting, but I'm not gonna lie. I think if we'd have had rain, I believe our smallest would have been like that right there.
Yeah. Those red land carrots actually look better than I thought they would, because everybody was like, you can't grow carrots in hard dirt. Well,
we did it.
we did. Some of them's a little crooked.
I want to say though, I know you can't grow carrots in hard dirt, and so I had this row before I planted them. It was ridged up tall of loose dirt, so that's why I had high hopes, and we got such good germination on them up here. Like, I mean, almost just about every seed I put down come up. We just run out of water. That's all it is to it.
Out of our hands up here.
Yeah, and up here it's out of our hands. I mean, it's just, to be honest, y'all, we don't normally have to deal with this, not this early, and we're not set up to carry water up here. We have been bringing water to the watermelons.
Yeah.
But we've toted it in 55-gallon or those Rubbermaid trash cans, and we're scooping it out with a water can and watering them, and I'm pretty sure we're just basically keeping them alive.
Yeah.
I don't think we're really doing them any good. But yeah, this up here's, if it don't rain, there ain't nothing we can do about it up here. Roby's like, what do y'all want with that?
They loved them last time.
They do love them. I hope you can't give them too many.
Nah.
How many bales of hay does that make I've put into these calves so far?
Probably 3.
Yeah, I think so. I know I've put at least 3 into the other calves.
Mm-hmm.
So 6 bales already this summer.
Yep. This early.
We ought not have to feed no hay at all during summer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we occasionally do.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it dry enough to have to feed a bale or 2 here and there. Not like this.
So I ended up having 6 quarts, which is about what I figured. I've got a few green beans left, not enough to fill up a quart, so I'll just cook those for supper tomorrow night since they're already washed and strung and everything else. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to add a teaspoon of salt to each quart. Canning green beans was one of the very first things I ever canned. Especially, it was the first thing I ever canned in a pressure canner. And it is very simple, y'all. You just follow the directions that is in like the ball book of preserving. It really helps as far as step-by-step directions on how to use a pressure canner. And your pressure canner will also come with directions and recipes and things like that. So I just want to encourage you that you can do it. It's intimidating at first, but then once you do it, you're going to be like, is that all it is? So now, I've got to fill these up with water. So I usually fill them up to that first ring right there on the jar. I just make sure my green beans are covered. And I just fill my jars up with creek water. Lord have mercy. I just fill my jars up with sink water. Like warm sink water, because they'll get hot in the pressure canner. But you can cover them with boiling water as well. I use the 4 jars canning lids. I'll leave y'all a link to them down in the description. I actually reached out to them. I bought some of their lids, I don't know, a couple years ago at the Homesteaders of America conference. They are excellent quality lids, in my opinion anyway. And I actually reached out to them about their affiliate program. So they also agreed to give my viewers, I believe it's 10% off. Y'all check the description. I'll put all that information in there with a discount code. But I do Y'all know I don't advertise a lot of stuff on here. This is something I truly do use. It's the only lids I use anymore. So I think you'll be very pleased. Let's get our rings on there. When you pressure can, just don't put them on there too tight. I just do it till the jar starts to turn itself. You don't want to crank down on them. It'll make your lids buckle and they won't seal. It can make them bend. Believe me, I've done it. I have done it. I seem to always have to learn lessons the hard way for some reason. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these in there. My pressure canner actually holds 7 quarts, but I only got 6. You're supposed to have them full before you run them. So what you could do is put you a jar of water using an old lid and ring if you wanted to in the middle to fill in that empty spot. So now I've set my heat to medium high. I'm gonna let this get warm because I did cold jars into cold water. So it's gonna take it a little while to build up some heat. You never wanna put cold jars into hot water or hot jars into cold water because it could cause your jars to bust due to shock. So let's see how long we need to pressure can these. This right here is my Bible when it comes to canning season. This is an awesome book. I've had it for several years. It is very well worn. I use this book to look up everything. Even though I can green beans every year, it's hard to remember like all the times. So I always double check myself. Alright, so for green beans, this right here, we did the raw pack method, so that's what I'm reading on here. And so we're going to process quart jars for 25 minutes under 10 pounds of pressure. I actually thought it was a little longer than that. See, that's why I checked this book, because I was thinking something different. So 25 minutes. I always forget how little a time green beans take, because corn's like an hour and 15 minutes or something like that. Corn is crazy long. So guys, I'll show you the finished product when they get done. So like I said, they'll cook under 10 pounds of pressure for 25 minutes, and we'll have us some nice canned green beans. These are the first ones of the season. And anyways, hope y'all really enjoyed today's video. Hope y'all might have learned a little something. Till we see y'all on the next one. Y'all have a good one.